Welcome geometry class to class today on this Wednesday, Thursday the 4th. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're ready to learn some math today. Go ahead and get out all of your stuff that you need, your pens, pencils, books, and calculators and notebooks, and let's get started right away. You will have a quiz on tomorrow, so please don't forget that quiz tomorrow. You have nothing to turn in. There was no homework given to you yesterday, so you have no homework to turn in. Incompletes, let me see if I have those real quick here. Here we go. Cody, let me get rid of this chapter 3 test, or chapter 1 test. You no longer owe me that. There we go. Cody, you owe me 3 assignments. Nate, you owe me 2. Lydia, 2. Madison, 2. And then Alicia, Caitlin, Matthew, Kaylee, Reagan, and Bailey, 1. I hope you can see that on the screen. I'll try to make it a little bigger without losing some of the people. That's probably a little too much, obviously. But anyways, let me see if that's too much. There, that's everyone. Guys, I've got to have these in by Friday. No exceptions to that, or I will be then contacting your parents over the weekend, and everything should be turned in by the end of the week. That's just how it is, and that's how it's got to be done. Okay, if I was there on site, I would be probably giving grade deductions, etc., but it's just so hard to do when I'm not there. Sometimes people are absent. Sometimes there's volleyball games, etc., and so I need all these turned in by the end of the week. That's more than fair. And if you have any questions or comments or problems with that, just get in touch with me, okay? We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, schedule for today, we're going to talk about going over your tests. We're going to prepare for tomorrow's quiz. We're going to finish yesterday's video, and then we're going to work on homework that is due tomorrow. Your homework is due tomorrow. Here's your homework for tonight. Would you please copy this down? Page 87, numbers 13 through 18. All of those, and then 27 and 29. Page 87, numbers 13 through 18. All of those, then 27 and 29. The homework help video is Geometry Track 1, September 4th homework. Okay? Geometry Track 1, September 4th homework. And I would advise watching the video for numbers 27 and 29. Please listen to me, students. Listen to this carefully. You might want to try them on your own, but that might not be beneficial. If you do, try to do them on your own, I would not spend too much time on them. You're going to get frustrated and not understand what's going on. Just try them for a couple of minutes if you try them on your own, and then let the video help you. That's what it's there for, okay? Learning how to do proofs is a slow process. Now, remember how I taught you yesterday? You have your statements on this side and your reasons over here, and you put a line coming down and a line going across for you 2 or 3 students that were still awake at the end of the video yesterday. Well, if you remember this, for numbers 27 and 29, what they're doing, you don't have to turn your books now, but you'll see when you do your homework, they give you these. They actually have all of this side filled out for you. They have number 1, they have stuff written here, number 2 written here, number 3 written here, and all they want you to do is fill in this side over here and tell them why they're doing what they're doing over here. And you'll see when you get there. And that's why it's the first time you've had 2 column proofs. They're not asking you to do the entire proof yourself, but they want you to fill in the right side. I would encourage you just to watch the video. And that's what it says right here. Also on numbers 27 and 29, please notice that they have given you the statements on the left side, and they just want you to fill in the reasons on the right side. Again, use the video to help you, okay? And so make sure, I have no idea what I just did there. There we go. Just make sure that you're doing that. I think you'll be okay. Okay, now let's talk about going over your test. This video class is going to have to be tweaked and worked on. I have done the video class for a couple years for Brian, but most of the time I had 4 students. 1 year I had 5. I've done homeschool classes. They usually have a very small amount of students in them. And the problem is with going over tests, when you have a large class, there's going to be people that haven't taken it. Now, usually I would come in today and I would pass the test out with an answer sheet. I'd say, raise your hand if you have a question. I would answer your questions. I can't do that because I cannot see you. So we're probably, and I know this is not what I said, students, but what I have to do at Dondom, I have to go through every test and make a mark on what every single problem students missed, and then know which ones I have to answer for you. So that's going to take a while. So here's what we're going to have, and there's no way we can do it tomorrow because you're taking a quiz tomorrow. I want to make sure you have enough time. So number 1, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and number 2, I'm going to tell you how we're going to remedy this problem in the future. Number 1, on Monday, we're going over your test. Number 2, from now on, so you can rest assured this won't happen again for tests and quizzes, we're going to go over them the next day or no longer than 2 days after, And those students that haven't taken the test, I'll just have Miss Frampton have them leave the room, and then she'll recollect the test once we go over them, okay? So that's what we're going to do from now on. So I apologize for how this has turned out, but we have a situation in place now where this shouldn't happen again, okay? Let's go over your quiz. I want you to get your books out, please, and let's take a look at what could possibly be on your quiz tomorrow. Number one, I've decided to not put any fill in the blanks on your quiz, and I expect some thank yous for that. So no fill in the blanks on your quiz, just math problems. So go ahead and turn your book to page 60 if you would. I am going to go fast, so if you need Miss Frampton to pause the video, just raise your hand and let her know, okay? Now, when you're on page 60, now you're not allowed to write in your book, so you'll want to take some notes. And I guess I should have typed these numbers out. I didn't, and I apologize. But don't write in your books, but make notes on a piece of notebook paper. Numbers like 13, 14, 15, 16, a pattern, looking for a pattern, those would definitely be fair game to use. Number 17 through 22, definitely fair game. You should know what a ray is, a segment is, a line is. You should know your angles, obtuse, acute, right, straight angles, what those mean. I'm not going to ask you to fill in the blanks, but you should be able to recognize those, okay? I don't think I'll have you draw anything like 23 and 24. However, if you'll look at 27 through 34, I probably won't give you a picture like that, but you should know. You should be able to look at a picture. Look at numbers 27 through 34, students, on page 61. You should be able to tell me if points are collinear, if an angle is a right angle, if it's an obtuse angle, if angles are adjacent, just stuff like this. So make sure you're familiar with those. Okay, please turn over to page 67. Again, I'm going fast, so you might need to ask Miss Frampton to pause the video, okay? All right, page 67. I'm looking at my notes here that I want you to know. I'm not going to have you measure any angles or anything like that. However, numbers 11 through, again, let me look at my notes here. 11 through 16 look really intriguing, for a good word to use there. I think those types of problems would be really good, so make sure you go over those for your quiz. Also, the same thing with 17 through 22. Those look really good to me, okay? So keep an eye on those. That would be a wise decision. Page 74, if you would turn over there, please. Again, I'm not going to have you do any measuring of stuff. However, numbers 1 through 6, well, first of all, 5 and 6, definitely know the distance formula. You're not going to have that, be allowed to have that written down. Know the midpoint formula too, and be able to use both those formulas. So it's very important that you're familiar with that for your quiz. And then numbers 1 through 4. Again, I'm not going to ask you to fill in the blanks, but be familiar with midpoint, perpendicular, congruent, angle bisector, segment bisector, all the things there. And the directions for numbers 1 through 4. If you look at the directions for numbers 1 through 4, be familiar with those terms so you can locate stuff like that. That would definitely be a fair question. It's kind of the same thing on 15 through 22. Again, just knowing your terms. So that's pretty much it there. Now 23 through 27, again, that's going to be find the midpoint and using the distance formula. We already talked about that. So again, just make sure you know how to do that. And then page 81, the conditionals. A lot of good stuff here. Let me get a drink, excuse me. On page 81, let's see here. Like 9 through 11, you should know what the hypothesis is. The conclusion is you should be able to write a converse. 12 through 14, you should be able to find counterexamples. In 15 and 16, you should be able to write biconditional statements in if and only if form. So all of those are really good problems that you should be concerned with. I'm not really worried about 21 through 24 there or anything else. That should just about do it for a quiz. I go a little light on quizzes, and of course tests are where they're a lot more difficult. So that should take care of the quiz tomorrow. Now remember, Ms. Frampton, whoever the supervising teacher is, you guys need to go ahead and finish the video from yesterday. Now some of you might have watched it last night, but it was a Wednesday night, so you didn't have to. So go ahead and start the video, finish it, and then get into your homework. And your homework is due tomorrow, and I expect really good grades on your quiz tomorrow. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or email those that have these incompletes. Please get these in as soon as possible. I will be contacting your parents over the weekend if they're not turned in, okay? Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.